You remember the 2023 collapse like a scar, the season that started like a promise and ended with panic. That memory is breathing in the ears of every Eagles fan right now because the script is dangerously familiar. High expectations, a hot start, then a tumble. Two straight losses later, and the question isn't theoretical anymore. Can Nick Sirianni and this coaching staff stop the slide before it becomes a free fall? This isn't about doom and gloom theater. It's about patterns. The Eagles were 8-2 not long ago. They're 8-4 now. Since the bye, they've scored 10, 16, 21, and 15 points. That's not variance. That's a trend. It's the difference between a team that can impose its will and one that looks like it's trying to remember how. The offense, which used to be the engine of this team, has become the smoke alarm blaring in every close game. Let's be blunt. The most glaring symptom is predictability. Opposing defenses have time to find and exploit the seams because the Eagles too often run plays that telegraph intent. The tush push, Philly's once automatic short yardage hammer, is now a teachable example for opponents. You saw it against Chicago, 3rd and 1 in the red zone. The play everyone knew was coming, and Nahshon Wright flew into the gap and ripped the ball free. That turnover didn't just cost points. It cost momentum, time of possession, and belief. A play that used to be a bedrock is suddenly a vulnerability. That's a schematic and execution problem wrapped in one ugly moment. Coaching is the natural place to look. Promoting Kevin Patullo was defensible on paper. Familiarity with the offense, continuity, a staff the players knew. But coaching is judged by results, and results are brutally simple. Are you scoring points and converting key situations? The offense has failed third downs. It's been predictable in short yardage. And even when A.J. Brown is piling up numbers, the score doesn't follow. Fans chanting to fire Kevin isn't a Twitter tantrum. It's the external echo of what they see on the field. A talented roster not being put in the best position to win. That said, changes should be surgical, not theatrical. Firing coordinators mid-season is theater. Good organizations pivot quietly. Sirianni can take play calling back without creating a circus. He can simplify the script for a couple of weeks, lean on quick reads, pre-snap motion, and simpler pass concepts that keep the defense honest and protect Jalen Hurts. He can script more high-percentage plays on third downs and short yardage, not because he lacks faith in his coach, but because the moment calls for corrective action. Leadership isn't about never admitting error. It's about fixing the thing that's broken when the tape demands it. Turnover against the Bears is also a reminder that even elite players have cleanup work. Hurts himself said holding the ball better is his responsibility, and he's right. But you also can't ignore mechanics and scheme. When your running game is inconsistent, the QB has to make more plays under duress. When the line fails to open holes and the defense stacks the box, options narrow. You can't lay every miss at the feet of one man or one coach. It's an organizational problem that needs coordinated solutions, quicker releases, better pre-snap reads, and clearer check-down options. On the positive side, A.J. Brown is exactly who he is, an immovable object when healthy and fed. 2 games, 18 catches, 242 yards. Those numbers prove he's willing and able. The awkward part? The offense is 0-2 in the stretch despite Brown's production. That's proof the issue isn't talent, it's orchestration. And when your top receiver is producing and the team still loses, it's not a personnel failure, it's a scheme and situational failure. Defensively, the signs are mixed. The Eagles' D isn't a broken unit, but it's been worn at the seams. Run fits were exploited by the Bears, who ran for 281 yards, 2 backs over 100 yards each. That exposes problems in gap discipline, tackling in space, and linebackers getting washed out of the play. If your defense can't keep games within reachable margins, the pressure on the offense becomes unbearable. Coaching adjustments on run fits, pursuit angles, and tackling fundamentals are table stakes now. So what does fixing the offense actually look like in concrete terms? First, simplify the third down playbook for 2 to 3 games. Call plays Hurts, and the protection can execute under stress. Quick outs, vertical splash concepts stripped down into 2-step reads, and design check-down lanes that keep drives alive. Second, reclaim the short yardage script. If the tush push is being defended with a dedicated ball hunter, redesign your short yardage package. Add an extra lead blocker, use motion to change alignment, or run a counter that exploits the overcommitment. Third, protect Hurts. Adjust protections to give him clear dump-off options. Force defenses to choose between covering the entire field or selling out to stop the run. Fourth, practice the tiny things: ball security and goal line drills, quicker handoffs, and cleaner cadence snaps, because games are decided by small margins late in the year. And who should make these changes? The head coach. Not as a confession of failure, but as an assertion of responsibility. Sirianni doesn't have to fire anyone today to prove he's decisive. He needs to tweak, reassign duties, and prioritize short-term stability over long-term vanity. Show measurable improvement in third down conversions and red zone efficiency within 2 weeks, or escalate. That's a tight, reasonable KPI to aim for. The schedule is not forgiving. A road trip to the Chargers looms, a team built to test offensive patience and discipline. The Eagles cannot afford to walk into SoFi Stadium with the same predictable, bogged-down offense they showed against the Bears. They need a script that forces the Chargers to defend the entire field, not just clog the middle. Finally, the psychological angle. Losing breeds urgency, and urgency breeds mistakes if it's not channeled. The locker room needs a reset. Film sessions that are corrective but not punitive, practices that reinforce fundamentals, and a public message of accountability instead of deflection. Players must feel the corrective change, not just hear about it. When the team believes the leadership is actively fixing problems, performance often follows. This is repairable. The Eagles have the talent and the coaching depth to course correct, but the clock is ticking. 2 losses are not fatal, but they are a warning light, loud, insistent, and flashing red. Sirianni can either treat this as deja vu and let the pattern repeat, or he can be proactive, tactical, and precise. The easiest fix is pride. The harder fix is the right one. If Philly wants to avoid a revisitation of 2023, the choices have to be surgical, immediate, and real. Here's the last part to remember. The Eagles are not doomed by talent. They're threatened by inertia. Fix the offense, protect Hurts, stop sacrificing the trenches, and the team reverts from the brink back into contending form. Do nothing, and the rest of the season will be spent answering how a team with so much promise let a dangerous pattern become its identity. The Bears went into Philly and did something rare. They beat the defending champs by imposing a physical identity from snap 1. The offensive line looked like an old-school bully brigade. Jonah Jackson, Darnell Wright, Drew Dahlman, and crew opened holes and climbed to the second level, and the backfield ate. D'Andre Swift and Kyle Monangai ran with violence and vision, both topped 100 yards, and the rhythm they created turned long, clock-killing drives into a straight-up headache for the Eagles. Ben Johnson's plan was simple and brutal. Make Philadelphia beat you up front. When the OL wins those battles, play action becomes a cleaner weapon, screens land at the right moment, and the offense gets the kind of third and manageable looks that keep chains moving. Caleb Williams wasn't perfect. He missed a few timing throws and had a couple of near misses, but he did the thing you want a young QB to do. Take the clear shot when the defense cheated. That dime to Cole Kmet in the fourth quarter was a clinical finish. Play action delivered at the perfect moment to puncture Philly's hope of a comeback. A few offensive details matter. The screens were beautifully timed and designed. They created angles and bought the runners' lanes. The tight ends and wideouts blocked like linemen when the play called for it, and even the rookie tackles, including Ozzie Trapilo in his second start, showed growth. Cole Kmet's route and hands on the dagger were textbook. Sell, release, catch. When your identity is to run and your QB can close with a surgical pass, you're not a one-dimensional team. You're a problem. Defensively, this was about effort and discipline. The Bears rallied to the ball, tackled in numbers, and turned effort into turnover opportunities. Nahshon Wright's hustle on the tush-push strip wasn't luck. It was assignment plus awareness. That play flipped field position, burned Philly's momentum, and sparked a 12-play march that put Chicago in control. Jaquan Brisker was physical at the point of attack, and Kevin Byard's veteran presence, including a huge interception, tightened the back end when it mattered. C.J. Gardner-Johnson and Kyler Gordon playing on opposite sides gave Dennis Allen the matchup versatility he wanted. And the safety rotation with Byard and Brisker has real shutdown potential. Front seven notes. Grady Jarrett is leading more than by voice. His play has matched his leadership, wrecking pockets and helping the line win leverage. Joe Tryon-Shoyinka's energy fits the unit's tone. Austin Booker's ability to beat double teams and make plays in the backfield stood out. When the linebackers and edge guys show up with that kind of technique and motor, the secondary gets less exposure and the whole unit looks playoff ready. Special teams were quietly excellent. Cairo Santos nailed his kicks in cold, gusty conditions and put the team in good position on kickoffs. Coverage units were disciplined. Multiple hats to the ball on returns, and Torrey Taylor's punts did the job even if a few lacked ideal distance. And yes, that onside recovery mattered. When games are tight, the small special teams edges flip outcomes. 2 framing points. First, this wasn't a fluke of matchup. It was an identity execution. When your OL consistently climbs, your backs find space, and your QB makes the right throw at the right time, you create a template that's repeatable. Second, this win concealed some things that still need work. Williams' footwork and timing need polish. A couple of missed throws could have been costly in other spots. Situational execution and special teams consistency have to stay sharp as the schedule tightens. Bottom line, this was a statement win. The Bears controlled the trenches, forced turnovers, and finished with a feel-good balance of smash-mouth football and timely passing. If they bring this blend into December, clean up a few timing issues, keep the OL playing bully ball, and let the defense keep hunting the ball, Chicago isn't just riding a hot streak. They're shaping an identity built for playoff football.